All right, good morning everyone and welcome to this session. In the coming hour, we'll talk about how Trumpf managed to revolutionize its marketing operations through a combination of processes, technology and talent. And we'll give you some insights in how you can gain efficiency. I won't do that by myself, but with the help of these two wonderful co-presenters.
So let's start. So I'm the one starting. I'm Katrin. I'm heading the corporate marketing division at Trumpf, one of the hidden champions that we do have in Swabia. Giving you I've been at Trumpf for the last 12 years. I do have a decent marketing and agency background, and I had the corporate function. Heading the corporate function means to be different. So I'm not doing the marketing and doing the advertising, but I do enable other people in order to do that in the subsidiaries and for our business units, which means I provide infrastructure in people, in organization, in IT tools, obviously, and also in the maturity level and the training sector. What is Trumpf? Maybe some of you do know that. We have 15,000.
That's the next slide, so we'll...
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
That's
sorry. I'm so... sorry.
Yeah, we're just going to present the two of us before we get into the Trumpf story. So I'm Erik de Volder, Sales Director for CHILI Publish. CHILI Publish is the technology that is embedded in in the Relational offering, and that is a part of the processes that was modified at Trumpf.
So, and last but not least, hello, my name is Jens. I'm partner at Relational, and I'm happy to be here today.
Just because I really like working for that enterprise, so I will kind of not to stop when I get to talk about Trumpf. So what are we doing? We are producing lasers for industrial applications. So everyone who has an iPhone or a mobile phone holds something in his hand that has been worked with our lasers in order to get this touch and to make it happen something when you touch that. And we're also producing machines for steel metal producing, such as bending or cutting and welding. So we're kind of huge, still hidden champion. When I talk about Trumpf, the next sentence that I used to say is, no, it's not chocolate, it's not underwear, and it's not motorcycles. So I've brought some video just to give you an impression what campus we're working on in the headquarters.
When I saw you downtown, I started acting like a clown, just to see if you would notice me and maybe get you to laugh. I did get some attention from the girl right next to you. Then all my friends saw me fleeing for my life. Scheme blood, scheme blood. I gotta run, run, run. I gotta run, run, run. I gotta steal love.
So I didn't bring a video as nice as Katrin did, but I'll tell you in short about CHILI Publish. So with our solution CHILI GraFx, we've established a place as a pioneer in the creative automation space. We've been defining this new category, and we have been in business for over more than a decade now. We enable global brands like Trumpf, but also agencies to produce multi-channel graphics at scale. And so today we have a strong reputation in the market. We have a growing team around 80 people, 250 clients, and yeah, we do have a global support and everything that goes with that to support these brands in their activities.
So, and also some words about Relational. We're a marketing service provider from Stuttgart and Berlin. Yeah, launched Relational just in 2021, so we're really a new player, but we're working with clients for much longer. Katrin will tell you about this later. And we're a marketing distribution platform with a data-driven approach and API-first architecture so that we can fit in every scenario we are confronted with. So, and enough for the sales pitch. So, what I've prepared for you today, I think at the same time, Philip is giving his State of the Internet speech. So we are talking about state of the marketing in 2024. Have brought some thoughts about that. Then we will show you the journey Trumpf took in the last 5 years with their marketing and sales organizations. Then Erik and I will show you some current problems our clients are facing and how we're trying to solve them. And then last but not least, we have prepared some how to get started, 3 steps for you to also change your business. So I want to start with let's agree to disagree. I hope you brought your smartphones with you, so you're happy to scan this code. And if you're scanning this code, you should see a green thumb, and by tapping on the screen, you can give us a thumb up or a thumb down. So, everyone okay? Okay, great. And so we brought some statements about marketing, and yeah, we're happy to get your opinion if you agree or disagree. So every visual in marketing communication should be handcrafted. Do you agree or disagree? Red, I see red, 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 red. Okay, a lot of reds. Good, so we're here some experts. So you're all for marketing, so I hope you are aware of your superpower. Marketeers' superpower is getting things done. That's what organizations and your companies often think about marketeers. They're flexible, they're adaptable, they're getting things done. I can put a lot of pressure on them, they will deliver. And so the default line of work is linear in many marketing operations. So you start planning, get it done, check the results, move on to the next one. Projects might overlap, but each one is treated the same way. And experience gets more stuff done. So if you're an experienced marketing manager, you can do it quicker, and more efficient. But nonetheless, you do it every time the same way. And this is our reality with many marketing companies. We are marketing departments. We're in touch with this. That's their daily business, getting stuff done. But Katrin, what's your take?
So I told you that I'm like the head of marketing, but I'm also the business process owner for Market to Lead. And when I took on that position, things changed, and my view on like how marketing is performed and performing as an integral part of an end-to-end process changed dramatically. And what I really like about that change is, and I assume that every one of you is in a B2B company here. I would say so because I think we're kind of very tailored to the needs of B2B here too. It is a lot harder to tell your salespeople and to tell your management what is the benefit and the outcome of marketing. I had a lot of discussions about cutting down budget, improving the efficiency. Everyone says, yeah, go to a fair. I can see what you do at a fair. I can like walk there, and the sales guys and management are really proud. They think, yes, that's my company. Look, we have 2 like stories here at this fair. But when it comes to digital marketing and to the daily business, they couldn't get like grips on that. When we talk marketing language, they didn't understand. Don't understand means less budget. less budget means less lever to contribute to the company's target, and also for me and my team. So what we started from this business process owner perspective, and also from a planning and a marketing, lead management and sales perspective, is first one is to think marketing as part of an end-to-end process. And I will tell you what that means and what the groundwork and the idea behind that is just and following. And first thing is aiming at different targets. So when I look at marketing and the targets, I have 3 things that we add value. And the first thing, I think, I put the first thing first because that's the one that sales really understands, driving sales, demand gen. And then we need to prove that we do drive and support the selling process, the go-to-market, and that marketing is not just about, yeah, you have a fair, and you talk about colors, right? And you talk about nice pictures. But that was then. That is not what we need to today, now, here in B2B marketing in Germany. So that is what I see. Because we have really strong competitors. And for us at Trumpf, we used to be like the unrivaled hero, like the pack leader with high technology. But that is still the case in some areas, and it is not the case in others. When we talk about entry level, when we talk about commodities, we have a very tight competition from China, and I don't know if anyone can relate to that. And so we need to work differently. We need to go to market, which is differently. And for that, the first thing that we need to do at Trumpf for marketing is like getting at eye level with the sales guys and proving that we think differently. And that is what Relational helped us to prove, that we can think differently, that we think efficiency, that we think time to market. So the 3 dimensions that we have here, short term is demand gen. Then, of course, we need to strengthen the brand. And we need thought leadership. That's for us, it's really important that at Trumpf, we really do things that our clients today do not know to be possible. So we really tell people together with the clients that we can make things differently and produce things differently. But as I said, the sales guys, they're just there. They're just there. And if you don't talk demand gen, they may not take you serious, or let's put it that way, not as serious as they should. Because I believe and I know that we have a really great driver from a marketing perspective here. Our colleagues in China did that. They have 30% of the order intake coming from marketing-initiated leads. And that is something that I want to have all over the place. So, and that are the KPIs. We need to think contribution to opportunity pipeline or to order intake by marketing qualified leads. We need a qualified brand awareness, because just because people know what and who we are in Germany does not mean that they know who we are and what we stand for in any other country in the world or in a new industry we want to attack. And the other one, that's a quite difficult KPI that I'm still working on how to define, is qualified topic awareness. That's kind of, yeah, I made that up because I couldn't find the right KPI for that. So now I would like to share what happened or how I got the management to like lean in. And I've asked all of my team members, please be so kind. Imagine you're like in front of the member of the management board that's responsible for us. You're meeting him in front of the elevator. You've got until the 7th floor to tell him who you are and what your contribution is to the company's targets. You can read that on your own. That's the product owner for Media Creator, which is the former name of Relational. That's her sentence. Imagine what happened when I showed him that. Can I please have that? Because I need to take that to the next management meeting of the board. So that sentence got to 2 different management board meetings, because he said that is such a great example of digitalization and standardization, and it is saving us money each and every day. It is like reducing time to market. It's enabling people to do self-service. if I would have been talking about cost per click and other stuff, he wouldn't be so interested, because it's very important to talk about that, but not to the management, because they don't know, they don't understand. It's not their interest. So you have to think, what's the interest? The interest is, I think I put that together as well. More money, faster money, more revenue in terms of margin, profit margin. 3 things. The other stuff is not of interest. So we have to reformulate the things that we tell them, because no one's going to cut my budget for that one. No one. And that's what I want for my people. And that's what I want for marketing at Trumpf. I want management and sales to be just like astonished what we can do. And I think that is something worth striving for. So let's get a bit into the depths of process management, because that is also something nobody would believe that marketing is talking about. Has any one of you talked about process management during the last 3 months? Great, great, yeah. So in each process, you have an input, you have a defined process, and you have a defined output. The output I just showed you. These are the 3 dimensions of the contribution of marketing: demand generation, brand awareness, thought leadership. And we are part of this end-to-end process chain. That's like the business process that has been established via SAP and others. Idea to market, market to lead, lead to order, order to cash, issue to resolution. And, well, that's mine. I'm the market to lead responsible. So what I have to ensure is that I can measure the KPI, contribution in order intake or opportunity pipeline from marketing qualified leads only if that process works. And I have to mark and to plan and to steer that what we put into the funnel at the very top or somewhere in between, that it really helps building that, and I have to track that. And I also have to track the process itself, because it needs to be efficient, it needs to be, well, we need the right input for that. I can show you that on the next page. So that's my responsibility. I'm responsible that the input needed for marketing in order to reach the defined output on a worldwide level is right in knowledge, in capacity, in budget, and in mindset. And the mindset thing is a very important one. I added that too. Because if you have management and sales and they do not believe, you can have as much knowledge and capacity as you want, things will not change. And sometimes you need to talk to the management and not to the sales guys, because they're sometimes, and some of them, they do not see the possibilities. So I also know whom to talk, and sometimes I'm like skipping positions. And just for the benefit of the company. So I'm very happy with that. So the other thing of the process is that one has to, and I do, stand for the right input, and I stand for the right output for the company. And the process itself, it is a creational process which is based on marketing strategy and the ideas that we and the advertising agencies and all do create. So that is really important. But once you have established, based on the strategy, the right creation, the process in getting this creation to as many people down there or out there who really can like read it, see it, and be very, well, convinced that we offer the right solution, we need to streamline that. And we need, in order to streamline that, you need to think differently. To talk at the, when you look at your projects, because one is project management, the other thing is process management, and you need to do both. And you need the creation and the right content, and the right strategy, which comes first. And in order to make that process better, one thing is also a mindset thing. The more self-established your team is, the more they know what their role is in that process, and the more they care about the process and with the ones next to them. The faster they understand and they care about the process, the faster the process will become. So the less management intervention you need and the less steering you need, the better it is for the process. Management needs to define output, input, and if something goes wrong completely, then you need to intervene. The other thing in the process is, and that's also something, it's not like really marketing, it's also like for each and every process that's true, but the levers for process optimization are really important. If you talk about these levers, so I'm marketing, I'm the responsible for this process, and I have the aims for the next year to increase self-service, to do automation, to have more avoidance of bottlenecks and parallelization of activities, that is also something your management understands. Because that's stuff from McKinsey, that's stuff from BCG. And so they do understand, because sometimes they are from that companies. And then they understand that we are serious people and that we do same things as they do and things that they think and believe they are the right things to do. So that is my action list. When I look at my process, I want to automate, I want to self-service, I want to reduce interfaces. And because that is my list for the bucket list, that's why I came to Jens in that case. Because he has something to offer which addresses almost every one of these points. And Erik will tell you more about these.
Thank you, Katrin. Always very interesting to hear it from the people who are in the practice. We touch a couple of points on there, automation, self-service, because what we see, thank you, because what we see in practice is that many organizations are still doing things the traditional way. That so what you see here on this slide is that how creative work is done after the creation itself. You see that there's still many review and approval cycles. You see that there's still many touch points, that there's regional teams who need to download open file types. And that type of workflow needs all those approval cycles because there's still a lot of room for manual error, for mistakes to the branding. Versioning for different channels, versioning for different regions. It all takes thousands of hours to create, to approve, to rework for every visual you want to show to the world. And it means still too many people are doing repetitive tasks. Every step means time, and every step means money spent. So that's the process we try to improve with the use of smart templates and creative automation. We can empower creatives to deliver more output files while always staying on brand across channels. It means a greater impact for the effort that is done by the marketing team, more time to focus on what matters, less repetitive task, and less budget spent, budget spent on the outcome that we need to deliver. Then it's back over to you.
So I was talking, you remember that chart from Sandra, my PO for that, and that wow chart. And that's what I'm aiming for. I will repeat that over and over again because it's one thing that I want to make other people shine and the function shine. I think what Erik told you is a very good example how to prove efficiency in marketing. And I think there are like several levers to that. One is the self-service. We also used to do that way. So we created like brochures, that's some time ago, and then we did like all the adaptions of the languages we did in Germany. Then we printed in Germany. Jens was there too, some years ago. And then we like shipped them to Korea, to China, to South Africa. And the time, what you just said, was incredible because it happened quite often that the fair was taking place in Korea or China or South Africa, but the brochures were not there in time. And that completely changed because now they can do self-service, they can do the adaptions in their timing. And one thing that was really important for us too is that it's within the corporate guidelines. So it's CD conform. And actually, if people in other countries do stuff for themselves, it's right for their country, but sometimes it's not so quite right if you look from a corporate guideline perspective. So that was very good too, that it is like the conformity was there too, and not only the efficiency, because we also care a lot how we make things look, because they have to look like Trumpf.
Okay, so next marketing statement. The creative idea gives you the guiding principle of your campaign. Who does agree? Who does disagree? Okay, some reds again. So what we are seeing at many companies who are in the middle of this transformation is, yes, tech is a lever for creativity and as important. So marketing, technology, infrastructure, tools, customer journey management, data analytics, these are the backbones of a successful creative campaign. And especially in B2B marketing, the focus is too often still on product communication, of product feature communication, and not prioritizing customer needs and experiences that the customer wants. And if you manage to create a synergy between marketing and sales as well, just what Katrin told us, is then you will drive a higher conversion rate and more engaging campaigns. So the roles are shifting from marketeers, from salespeople, and not just from managing projects, but to managing processes. And creative automation speeds up this whole process and is the lever of being able to work. And that's why the roles of creatives have to change and of creative agencies have to change, because modern creative campaigns blend technology with talent. We need talent and skilled people, but skilled people with an understanding of the possibilities of technology and enabling this whole process that's needed for the different channels, the different markets, and the different experiences people want to see. So designing and managing the customer journey, that's not something new I'm telling you here, but that must be the focus of a successful marketing and sales organization. And the end, marketing and sales, that's the important point, because that's what we're seeing in many, many companies, that's still a big hurdle to bring together those two teams, those two organizations to help to create really, really good campaigns. And without this basis, campaigns will work less and less and less.
So here we have another statement. Brand guidelines define the principles of communication asset production. Do we agree? Do we disagree? I see some green mainly. So everyone's aware of the importance of brand guidelines, branding. Organizations spend a lot of money to meticulously craft it. They do their best to communicate it to internal stakeholders, to external stakeholders. But things still go wrong too often. The marketing team gets bad feedback, bad visibility when it goes wrong, even though it goes right thousands of times. Those 2 times that you miss it will come back to you. So while everyone understands the importance of brand consistency, when it means additional approval cycles, additional time waiting before you get your flyers in Korea or your banner for your trade show or your ad campaign out, people sometimes tend to take shortcuts. So that's why we combine brand guidelines with the right amount of flexibility. Creative automation makes using on-brand assets more flexible and actually easier than taking the shortcut. We make it accessible and we make sure that the whole organization is capable to extend the marketing capabilities with the brand integrity.
May I just ask one thing of that, because what I see is that, like in the internet, you have this right to be forgotten. But for us in marketing, it's just vice versa, because with all that new content and all this speed and all these, for us, it's like an incredibly increasing product portfolio, all this segmentation that we do via in what stage of the customer journey is he in what country is he in what industry is he in, what has he bought before he is now interested in that. The amount of content will increase even more dramatically. And so we have to see if we need to like increase the output in a customer-centric way, which is tailored to the need of the customer. How do we do that? And that is something that we need a lot more easier, comfortable way to like increase the output created. And that is just for me in a nutshell, the benefit of that tool too.
Yeah. That's one of the things that we see with our customers in the industrial sector, in industrial environments, but we see it across the board in retail, in other industries. We all are in an environment where you need to deliver for more channels, for more products, in more languages, in all kinds of dimensions, for all kinds of delivery networks. So we know it's important to address segments in the right way as well. You want to personalize your approach. You want to understand the regional differences. It leads to many, many, many versions, and it's very recognizable what you say. We hear it every day. And it makes that the job of the designer changes. They need to become what we call the new creative, someone who delivers assets that are multi-use instead of single-use. And that's what we try to do with these smart templates. We create one asset that can then serve different channels, serve different regions, serve different. It can be used for all the product range and so on. So less templates and more assets delivered.
So in the last statement we prepared, marketing budgets must rise to achieve my goals. Who needs more budget? Green. Okay, mixed feelings there. Okay, so, yeah. We think we have to change our attitude to resources, because often in marketing, the discussions focus on budget, but from what we are experiencing, the point today is time. Or is time. You can do 10 projects, or you have 10 possible projects you can do, but you only have time for 3. So which one is prioritized? So it's not about budget, it's about time, and it's followed by skilled people and by tools. And if you have a good team, that's the backbone of your marketing, and the capabilities of this great team is multiplied by effective systems, processes, and tools. And so compared to salaries and agency fees, what you're spending, and that's what's subsumized with budget, media spends, fair space, print stuff, something like that, that's just the small amount. So it's all about, for us, it's all about investing in good processes, investing in great people, investing in technology, and this magnifies the return on investment crucially, and not in a way like, okay, let's do more media spendings. That won't help you in the long run. You have to do your homework. You have to invest in the right foundation to be able to do this. And I think Erik brought some examples of customers who just did that.
May I just add something? So I think we all need more budget, which is a different kind of view. Like I'm B2B marketing too, and marketing, I mean, we have a very good budget for the fairs. Everything else is, should be more to my very convinced opinion. But I think the idea is, what are we spending money for? And we need more budget, of course, and we need to compare the output that we create with the fairs, with the digital offerings, with the amount of money that we spend in order to gain reach, with the output that we have when we use tools. And I think that is just for me how I can have an argumentation with my controlling, and when I have the right arguments that I can show them, and when I think in a kind of a business case perspective that it's worth investing the money, then, and that if we don't invest the money, we lose more money than we actually, well, think that we can have in, well, less invest if we say, no, we don't need that tool, or we don't need the new function of that tool. So that's just from my perspective.
Yeah, it very often comes down to ROI when you have these discussions, I can imagine. I indeed brought a couple of examples of other customers that we have. It goes across industries, so I don't know how well known Sodexo is in the German market. It's a global player. They do many things. Amongst others, they have these internal restaurants in universities, in companies across the world. And that makes that they need to produce vast amounts of graphic output. Small example, because they do many things. Labels on the sandwiches, on the wraps, on the salads, they need to give information. That information needs to be accurate because it contains ingredients, it contains allergens, so on. It needs to be on brand. It often needs to contain QR codes or barcodes. And what Sodexo does, it's an illustration of one of the ways you can use CHILI GraFx. What Katrin was talking about a lot is self-service. Sodexo uses it in an automated way, so data-driven, based on large amounts of data, pushed to a smart template, and producing all those assets that they need. The next example that I brought, it's mainly self-service, although they also use automation. Colruyt, once again, maybe not as well known in Germany, but it's a retail player. They are in food, they have toy stores, they have gyms, they have a lot of consumer communication to do. So first use case they did was they needed the staff in the stores to be able to communicate about campaigns or exceptional things that happen. And so they needed self-service for those people in the stores to create, once again, on brand, with the right amount of flexibility. And for them, it resulted in 35% of the recurring requests that went to the design team to be automated. But our retail customers are also using us in an automated way. Think about all those promotions that you see in the shop, based on product information, based on the images that are in the asset management tools. And so Colruyt is an example, but it's actually widely used. For instance, in France, I think about 80% of the communication, if you ever go to France in a supermarket, 80% of the promotions you'll see in the shops are generated with tools like CHILI GraFx. It creates, obviously, an enormous amount of efficiency in processes, and it allows for these promotions to be local, the pricing to be adapted to the store in a very efficient and controlled way. And then back over to the Trumpf transformation.
Yeah. Thank you. So, we started a while ago. And, for us at Trumpf, we used to be, like I said, the unrivaled leader of the pack. So, our process started with the customer calls us. So the go-to-market process, which means that we had days where we were kind of distributing the machines that we could produce. And that is a mindset, when you have that over and over years, that is really, it's deep inside. Nowadays, you need a lot of more touch points before we can sell. And we have even our industry engineers, and they really know what they're talking about. We have high expertise. They say, I go to a customer and he tells me more about the machine and the application than I know. So there is a really a journey before, and we need to be there when that journey of of our customers when that starts. It's just that the idea, and that's also a mindset thing, for marketing that's clear. I mean, there's no news in that, not at all. But for a company, a B2B company, a very successful B2B company, that's something that they need to know. And then they need to know, and I brought you some figures. Well, if you need like 30 touch points or 25, and these are figures from an example subsidiary, well, we need to inform them, to convince them, tell them about our brand, tell them about our thought leadership, tell them about, we understand what problem you have, we have an application, come to us, we're really good, we're at your side, we're blah, 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 you name it. And when you try to do that with your sales reps and with lead managers because they call, and with events, and that's the data and the machines that we're talking about. So we have like 30,000 contacts only in the CRM system. We have almost 10,000 customers. We have prospects, which are not customers. And we have new areas like entry-level machines or industry or niche products where we still are, you remember the 3 dimensions, we're still at the thought leadership and the brand awareness phase. I mean, how can we possibly do that with 40 field sales and 1.5 lead manager calling them? Okay, you have your fair, we're great at fairs, but in between, we don't have a fair every day, and that wouldn't make sense, because we'd be like bankrupt if we would have a fair every day. So there is something in between, and people also inform themselves in between. And that is also something that I brought just to share with you, how to get sales that the solution of entering new markets is not more feet on the street. And it's not to go to every congress and every fair, but to be there in the digital space as well, and to use tools like Relational also to produce more information. So for me, like I said, the one thing is that we need to change also for marketing. We need to go to eye level with our sales guys. Because before I used to say, well, you know, we're not like the waiter anymore. Because before they came and said, could you please do a flyer? And I need to go to get Congress and I need 2 brochures. That's okay. But that's not where we want to start today, because I want to do the planning with them. I want to ask, how many machines do you need to sell? What can you do on yourself? When and where do you need support? So how can we work together? And that's a mindset thing. And tools like Relational help to build that mindset, because I show, look, I care about efficiency. I care about doing like content in a very different way that is very time-saving, very good for the local subsidiaries, very good for the market. And that's where I invest money. And actually, for that money, I can't even go to a congress. So that's also something where sometimes you have to prioritize and you have to ponder. And you have to have good arguments for that too. Change management, I think that is also something, like I said, because I'm talking a lot about mindset here. Like Jens said, technology is a catalyst to have the good content and the good information be there where it can be read and seen by the customers. And I like that one so much, because I'm just doing that for everyone in my department, because it's the quintessence of how we drive the respect that we have for the marketing function in a B2B company, when that B2B company happens to have a very strong sales department. And you know what's right for your company here. So, some success drivers. I don't know if any one of you has been part of a rollout of a CRM system or any kind of other tool. I've been, and we took ages, and still I have discussions about functions that would be really nice to have, and yeah, you have these functions 2 years ago, it was implemented. The rollout of Relational took 15 minutes. So what I did, or what my team did, they set up a meeting, a Teams meeting, or it was Skype then, invited all the guys and showed them just how it works, because it's so user-friendly. it is self-explanatory. And the most asked question my support gets is, oh, I forgot the password. Could you please like set that back? So I have very few questions about the handling. And it was so time to market efficient that it was really great. Bottom up and top down strategy, yeah. I did the under promise and over perform thing here. I said, well, I have something which I'm doing here and we will kind of change the way we do the content. And when it came out, because the expectations were so low, that's also one thing in marketing that we, to my opinion, we need, at least at Trumpf, we need to do that better. Under promise and then over perform. You'll get a lot better response. Say we will do 10 and then do 5, you're in trouble. Say, I will do 3, do 5, you'll just be like the hero. So the same with that one, because it's really easy to use. So understate it, and then you get more credit for that, for the same work. I think that's quite smart.
Okay, I brought a small glimpse into our use case, just 35 seconds, and it won't look much like rocket science. And that's the beauty of it, because yes, complexity, with all that Erik said, is unavoidably, but it shouldn't worry the end user. So what I'm showing you looks very easy, but yeah, that's our job to to make it look very easy and very convenient. And as everyone in OMR is talking about AI, we ask the AI to do a little song based on the video. So yeah, enjoy.
Launch the spaceship now. Relational. Relational. What you see is what you get. Relational. Relational.
So that's it. Doesn't look much, but yeah, like Katrin showed us, had a huge impact on Trumpf's transformation in the last 5 years. So coming to what we're currently seeing at other companies and other industries, I guess that's also not new for you. So yes, we have an increased demand for marketing campaigns and assets across more channels that really creates challenges. Everything about handling and managing workflows with agencies, staff, freelancers becomes more and more complex. And yeah, many companies are trying to create in-house agency, but that is also more complex than expected. And then many marketing departments are overwhelmed by data, and some have no data at all. So we have a huge gap on that point. And high expectations for AI. So everyone thinks, oh, AI will solve everything. No, it's a little bit complex and a little bit more complicated than that was promised. And yeah, you can do a fun song, but if you want to do business, it's a little bit more complicated. And then what we are seeing mostly, especially in marketing is good in creating, or was good in creating, pragmatic IT solutions. So we did something with an agency, they did a tool, they bought a software, and yeah, this has security flaws. We have an inconsistent data landscape, we have silos. This leads to really big problems at the moment. So because the teams have to adapt, have to change things, and in a time with budget restrictions, not that easy to close this problem with IT systems. And last but not least, the shifting of customer expectations, especially in B2B. It's not about the best product anymore. If you're with B2B customers, they have expectations on how you work with them, what data you're providing, how you interact with them, on a marketing level or an information level, not about the product, but if you haven't done your homework that wise, you can still have the best product that is saying, okay, but it's too complicated for you. We have so much extra work when we work with you. We go to your competitor. So these are some examples of problems we are currently faced with. So, and what am I doing? We have the motto, happy IT, happy life. Marketing departments are afraid of talking to the IT departments. And we can only say, don't worry, we cover that. We know how IT departments tick, what they are needing, and so it's our job to make them happy. So no worries for marketing departments on that area. And yes, we have a seamless integration or an easy integration of user management. That's also a big issue at many marketing or many companies at the moment to get your user management to one place. We're doing that easily. And we have an API-first strategy, so we can integrate in anything the customer has or integrate what he has into our system. So MarTech should be an ecosystem and not a monolith. So IT solved, don't worry. We have the experience. We have built it the way to make it as easy as possible to set up a tool like Relational.
Thanks, Jens. Once again, we are the technology vendor in that ecosphere. Relational is doing implementations and has built a very easy to use platform. What CHILI GraFx does, it's a omni-channel editor, really omni-channel, as in we do all those digital outputs, animated images. We also manage and master the print output. It doesn't only empower end users to design in a self-service way, but it embeds the brand logic really in the template, so there's a level of intelligence in there. And the way we see the future of graphics production, we are addressing the challenges of those new creatives who need to deliver more consistent, faster, and more effective. It starts with the challenges in the creative production workflow, eliminating that bottleneck that you see here between the brief that you get and all those outputs that you need to create. So that's where the software steps in, and it enables the end user to change those well-defined variables or to be able to plug in the data set that you need to create all your variants at once. And this is how the smart template opens that bottleneck, so you don't need to keep on hiring more graphic designers or spend more on your agencies. You don't raise that need for resources. You just open it up with automating those parts of the process that are intelligent to automate.
If I can add something, because can you just go back? Because we had like more, just not one bottleneck, but we had like in the subsidiaries, also we have like 35 of them worldwide. There are people doing marketing with like 20% of their capacity in the smaller ones. And even in the bigger ones, there are not so many people working. So we had the first, and I think the most important bottleneck with Trumpf was that we enabled the people there in the market doing it within very, very little time and saving them the time of like calling the headquarter, asking, explaining, getting it done, asking then again, how long will it take? I don't know yet. Can you please get back to me? So there was a lot of hassle inside there. In addition, another constraint that we have was the agency, of course, that we have, but that's easier scalable, I think. That's a question of money in the end. If you have like really good partners, then it's easy to do, it just costs more. But for me, the most important bottleneck to get rid of was enabling the people in the subsidiaries to be able to do it a lot faster and getting things done, what they're actually there for.
So, and yes, we are thinking everything out of one workflow. So our goal is to be loved by the end users first, and the marketing department second. This hasn't to be great for the marketing departments. They don't have to work with it. It has to be great for the end users. So we're thinking everything from one workflow, regardless of what you are trying to do with marketing, what kind of asset, what kind of marketing material, what kind of article. It's always the same process. And this helps doing rollouts in 15 minutes because it's so self-explanatory. They know what they're doing. They know it from their personal shopping experience. We've thought of workflows that are really close at heart from their personal way of doing things on the internet. And so we created one workflow, regardless of physical, digital, whatever you're thinking of, you're needing in marketing. And we're thinking about smart templates. Everyone is talking about templates, but we are talking about smart templates. And we're coming to companies and say, look, we have 500 communications assets. Please make 500 templates. That's not our job. That doesn't make sense from our point of view. So we are helping them to create a template strategy. So to create a few smart templates that cover everything they need. And in this process, there's a lot of change management, breaking down barriers inside internal camps and teams and stuff like that, and bringing together marketing and sales team to help thinking about what should the end user do? What kind of templates do we need? What kind of data models do we have? What business logics do we want to apply to a smart template? And that's also a great lever or a success factor of getting a great template strategy, a few smart templates doing all your job.
So that term, smart templates, it's been mentioned about 5-6 times in the meantime. But I'd like to clarify it a little bit. So everybody knows what a template is by definition. A template is a preset format for a document or a file. So you think of standard layouts, you think of styles, you think of texts. Now what does it take to make a template smart? By definition, a smart template is a template that has embedded business rules in it that it follows and to adapt in shape or form when given input it receives. So you can put your brand guidelines in there, you can do data import, you can have triggers in there that change things in the template automatically. You can have dynamic resizing, all those different sizes, what rules need to be followed. And AI has been mentioned. Yes, there are a lot of gimmicky applications of AI. We're actually finding very interesting ways to apply AI. For instance, in building in those triggers, instead of needing someone who needs to program or needs to put scripts into the template, we're enabling prompting. If it's for the Korean market, change to that font. It's simple as that. So you close that gap between the marketeer, the designer, and the development world. And here's a good example, and it's from the customer Trumpf, of the templates that their team use. From one template, they can create different sizes for different platforms, for different channels, for different segments. And the day that they need to make a small adaptation, and I don't dare to say change the logo anymore, but maybe a slight color change that needs to happen, it can be done with a simple adaptation in the master template, so you don't need to go and adapt every template by itself. So if you're looking at automation, creative automation, please also look into that capability to serve from one central template many use cases. Because if you need to adapt, you'll only need to do it once.
Just one thing, because we're sure not to change the logo, but we may change look and feel and colors. So maybe the color grading someday will change. And I really like the idea that I don't have to do that like separately and manually, and I don't know how many content pieces we created past 3-5 years, but that I can do that based on everything which is like in Relational, and then just like do a filter of that, and then everything will be different, like that.
And so, how to get started? Just a quick 3 steps for how you can start a process like that. And Katrin's got a little bonus advice at the end as well. Automation without simplification leads to more low quality output. So you have to, in a first step, you have to identify similar processes, simple tasks that are used repeatedly across multiple processes. And finding these is the first step. The second step is to standardize tasks, so examine how tasks are performed and standardize them, ensure a consistency across the organization. And this step paves the way to automation. And the third step is look which tasks to automate, consider frequency, resource consumption, and ease of automation, and find the sweet spot. So where can I hit those 3 checkboxes? And automation should be purposeful. Only if you think about what really helps, that gets your organization growing and doesn't create more problems. So standardize, automate, and automate wisely. And yes, we have the expertise from many different industries, many different companies, and know what's working, what's not working. So yeah, we're happy to help and discuss possible ways to get going on this way to automation.
So, we'll just take the click. So just like summing up, because you might have noticed that I really like the mindset theme or subject. When you want to get your management listening and your sales guys listening, then you have to listen to them, understand what they are talking about, and then address their interest. So you need to be customer-centric, and that means too, even if sometimes it is hard. But it's worthwhile, like being very stubborn on that thing, actually, because I think it makes a huge difference to the company and how, like, what the benefits are for the company and for the teams that really work in marketing. And also for sales, because they can learn something too. There are new things to learn for them, and they're also very valuable. So what are they talking about? Like I said, sell more, gain faster. That's all they're interested in. Easy as that. So you need to think like a business plan, because there you really look at, okay, what will be easier, what will be faster, how much money can I drive in what kind of measures and means. Don't talk about spendings, talk about investment. Because we're not spending money, we're investing money because we have targets and we want to drive demand gen, for example. Things like capacity saved per layout. Maybe not such a common KPI, but also when you speak the language of your management and sales and of controlling, also a very good one. And that's just an example of how one can think. Time to market, so the gain faster is also, and I think the most powerful is if you talk to them about the effects on the opportunity pipeline. Make sure that it's them who are doing like the negotiation and the pricing, and they have to close the deal. What we can do is like getting all the informational work and the nurturing, getting off their backs, because they're just like, in that one market, 40 people working on 10,000 customers and prospects. And that's just not possible. So if we work together, it is possible, because we can, like Jens said, we can standardize, we can digitalize, and then we can automate. And if we do that, we will scale. And that's what we're all looking at. So, I think,
yeah, so
for you to end.
That's what we have prepared. So thanks for your time. We're in Hall A3, booth C14 if you like to have a chat. And many of our customers ask us for an opportunity or a platform to discuss their current challenges and solutions, and that's why we are currently organizing an event. It's for free in Mannheim. John Deere is hosting us at the John Deere Forum, so happy to join. Use the QR code and come to Mannheim in June and meet marketing people from different industries to discuss what they're actually or currently facing.
Yeah, so I would also like to thank Katrin, obviously. It's always nice to hear from the field, from the actual use cases, the value that gets found. I hope it was interesting for you. Thanks all for coming. And thanks to our partner Relational, not to forget. We're here if you have any questions. The Relational team is here as well. My colleagues from Chile are in the back as well. If you have any questions, if you have any, we have tried not to focus too much on product in here. So if you want to see what it actually can do come by the booth and have a nice OMR, I would say.
At